Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the next step in the Cold War era, our discussion of the Cold War era, known as decolonization. Now, um, post World War One, World War Two, as we all know, a lot of your European countries, and not just your European countries, but the Soviet Union certainly had an interest here. The United States had an interest here, but there was a new wave of colonization that was going on. We've talked about that previously. And once we get into that Cold War era, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, even into the 1970s, you see a round of decolonization. Um, so I wanted to give you just a brief introduction to what was going on with that, and then how we're going to go through what was going on. First off, this concept of decolonization. You've got all these countries that have taken these colonies on, and the idea is that they're going to take them on with the thought that they're going to be able to profit from resources that are available in those countries. At some point, they're going to reach a time where they're no longer profitable. They're no longer making the money they once were. So because of that, now they're going to think towards, okay, we need to get out of this place. So they're going to go through a decolonization process, the process of turning those countries back, the control of it back over to the people that live there. And it sounds great. It works right in line with the concepts of the Enlightenment. Um, but there are going to be some issues. There's going to be some inherent problems that are going to come up because of the way the countries have been ruled, because of the fact that the countries have been stable primarily because of that European, for example, leadership. And now you're going to be handing it over to people that they really haven't done much to to prepare in many cases these countries for life after the Europeans being there. All right, there's plenty of problems that are going to be apparent. One of the concepts that is going to be suggested in what we're going to be doing over the next couple of days is going to be this idea of partition. Partition would be splitting up. So if let's say we were taking a test and I was concerned that somebody might cheat off me, I could put up a partition between me and that other person. It's something that would divide us. So when they use the term partition, that's what they're talking about. We're going to look at what was going on in India as kind of a case study. Within India, they had been a British colony, and the British had been in charge there for quite some time. And now it was coming to a point where they were going to leave. The British leaving, the big problem that they had to discuss, they had to figure out, is when they leave, what's going to happen with the Hindus and the Muslims that were living there. That was going to be a major, major issue. Not because it was a major problem prior to the British showing up. The Hindus and the Muslims lived there peacefully. Uh, Once the British show up, they kind of create some ethnic tension, ethnic problem. It was a pretty common thing for a lot of these colonies because if the ethnic groups were preoccupied, I guess, with the other ethnic group living in that area. If they had a problem with that other group, that meant that they probably weren't going to have time to have problems with the British. the British could swoop in and save the day, and the British look great. So a lot of these ethnic problems that they're going to talk about were manufactured. They were created by the British, but now on the back end, they have to figure out how can we leave and leave this problem behind. How can we solve this problem? So ultimately, that's what this is going to be about. Over the next couple of days, you're going to watch portions of a video called "The Day India Burned," partition the day India burned. And you're going to answer some questions that go along with that. What you're going to see on the worksheet is that it will tell you what segments you're supposed to watch and then go back and answer those questions. What I recommend, watch that section, hit pause, answer those questions, and then move on to the next segment. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's like an hour and a half long. Um, I am breaking it down so that we can fit it into 2 days. My recommendation, hey, if I want to balance it out a little bit, you'll complete parts 1 and 2 today, parts 3 and 4 tomorrow. Um, it really, how you do this really kind of depends upon your schedule and what you have to do. If you want to try and get more of that done in day one so you have less in day two, that's completely up to you. You just need to have all 4 segments done to be able to turn in on Friday. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of an introduction and the video can make a little bit more sense for you.